Learning English doesn't have to be boring. Sometimes, one funny mistake can teach you more than 100 grammar lessons. This story is one of those moments. So, if you want to improve your English while enjoying a real adventure, hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. He had waited years to visit Paris, the city of lights, of dreams, of pastries and art, and everything in between. The first thing he did after arriving wasn't to check into his hotel or unpack. He just dropped his backpack and walked straight toward the Seine River. He had seen it in movies, in books, and on postcards. But none of them had captured the feeling of standing there in person. It was late afternoon. The sky was painted in soft golden colors, and the river looked like it was glowing. Boats passed by slowly, carrying tourists with cameras and wide eyes. He leaned against the old stone railing and pulled out his phone to take a photo. One photo turned into 5, and 5 turned into 20. He tried different angles. From above, from the side, with his hand reaching out to the Eiffel Tower in the background. He wanted the perfect shot. Then he had an idea. What if he took a photo from just over the edge? Something dramatic. He leaned forward carefully, holding his phone with both hands. He squinted through the screen. The frame was almost perfect. And then, in a fraction of a second, it happened. His fingers slipped. Maybe it was the breeze. Maybe it was the excitement. Maybe it was just bad luck. But the phone slipped right out of his hand, flipped once in the air, and dropped into the river like a stone. He froze. For a moment, he thought maybe it had landed on the ledge. He looked down, nope. It was gone. The Seine had swallowed it without a sound. He stared at the water. The surface looked calm, peaceful, like nothing had happened. But under that calm was his phone, his maps, his travel plans, his photos, and all his memories from the trip so far. He looked around. A couple nearby had seen what happened and gave him a sympathetic smile. Another tourist patted his shoulder gently and walked away. He stood there, unsure of what to do. He didn't speak French. He didn't know where the nearest phone shop was. And he hadn't backed up his photos. Not even once. He walked slowly along the edge of the river. His hands felt empty. He didn't want to panic, but he could feel a small knot in his stomach. He sat down on a bench and took a deep breath. At first, he felt like he had lost everything. But then, something shifted. He looked around without a screen in front of his eyes. He noticed how the sunlight reflected off the water, how the old bridges curved across the river, how people laughed and talked and enjoyed the moment. Without his phone, he felt strangely present. He wasn't checking messages, wasn't taking selfies. He was just there, in Paris, living. He stood up and walked toward a bookstall by the river. The seller greeted him warmly, showing him postcards and old maps. He picked one with a drawing of the Seine and wrote on the back with a pen the seller gave him, "Drop my phone in this river." But it gave me a new way to see the city. He mailed it to himself. For the rest of the day, he wandered with no GPS, no music, and no camera. He got lost once. He ordered the wrong thing at a cafe. He asked strangers for directions. And it turned out to be the best day of his trip. Sometimes, when you lose something, you gain something better in return. That evening, as the sky darkened and the city lights came alive, he realized that memories made with your eyes and heart last a lot longer than those made on a screen. And from then on, whenever he saw someone leaning too far over a river with their phone, he smiled and stepped back a little himself. Did this story make you stop and think? That's the magic of learning through stories. You just learned useful travel expressions, emotional descriptions, and a little life lesson, all in English. If it made you feel something, leave a comment. We drop new stories every day to help you learn naturally.